Ladies and gentlemen, friends, dreamers, hustlers, listen carefully. We've been taught our whole lives to chase money, run after it, work harder, wake up earlier, hustle longer. And while hard work matters, make no mistake, I'm here to challenge that mindset. What if money started chasing you instead? You see, money is not just paper, it's a byproduct, a reflection, a result. Money is a reward for solving problems, creating value, and becoming the kind of person the world cannot ignore. If you spend your life chasing money, it will always stay one step ahead. Like a mirage in the desert, the more you run, the more exhausted you become, and the further it gets. But if you focus on becoming excellent, on building rare and valuable skills, on solving real problems for people, then something changes. Most people grow up believing that money is something you need to chase, that it's out there, elusive, distant, hard to reach, and you have to run faster, work harder, and sacrifice more just to catch it. This idea is embedded deep in our culture. We're told to wake up earlier, grind longer, and hustle relentlessly, all for the promise of financial success. But there's a truth that many people only discover much later in life. Chasing money is often a losing game. The harder you run after it, the more it seems to move just beyond your reach. What if you stopped chasing it entirely? What if instead you focused on creating value, real, meaningful, undeniable value? Suddenly the game changes. Money is no longer something you have to pursue. Instead, it starts flowing toward you. You attract it. You see, money is not just currency. It's not just paper or numbers in a bank account. Money is a measure of value exchanged. Every time you buy something, you're exchanging money for value, whether it's a product, a service, a solution, or even an experience. So if you want more money, the question isn't how can I get it, but rather how can I create something worth exchanging for it? Chasing money is reactive. It comes from a place of lack, of fear, of not having enough. It's driven by anxiety and scarcity. Creating value, on the other hand, is proactive. It's about becoming a creator, not just a consumer. It's about seeing the needs of the world around you and asking, how can I solve that? How can I make this easier, better, faster, more joyful, more efficient? When you start thinking like a value creator, everything shifts. You stop waking up wondering how you're going to make ends meet. You start waking up excited about what you can build, who you can serve, what you can improve. You move from a mindset of taking to a mindset of giving. And ironically, the more you give in terms of value, the more you receive in return. Think about the most successful people in the world, not just financially, but in terms of influence, legacy, and impact. What do they have in common? They didn't get rich because they chased money. They got rich because they created extraordinary value. They found a way to solve problems for millions of people. They found gaps in the market and filled them. They improved lives, created convenience, brought joy, or gave people tools to improve themselves. Take someone like Steve Jobs. He didn't chase money. He chased excellence, design, simplicity, and innovation. The iPhone wasn't about making money. It was about revolutionizing communication. The money followed. Or Oprah Winfrey. She built a platform that empowered millions, gave people a voice, and sparked emotional connection. She didn't wake up every day chasing dollars. She focused on delivering powerful stories and insights. The wealth was the byproduct. Even at a smaller scale, this principle applies. Think about the local restaurant you love, the freelancer who always over-delivers, the teacher who goes above and beyond. They're not the ones begging for business. They're the ones booked out. Why? Because they've earned trust. They've built value, and that value draws people in. Creating value means developing skills that others need. It means becoming dependable, resourceful, and innovative. It means being obsessed with improvement of your product, your service, your communication, your delivery. It requires empathy and awareness. What do people struggle with? What do they complain about? What do they wish someone would just fix? That's your opportunity. That's where your value lives. Now, this doesn't mean that money will fall from the sky. It doesn't mean you can ignore the realities of business, marketing, or making smart financial decisions. But it does mean that if you orient your focus toward contribution instead of desperation, you'll begin to notice a dramatic change in how the world responds to you. Opportunities will come more frequently. Referrals will increase. Your reputation will strengthen. You won't need to fight for every sale because people will feel your value before you even pitch. That's the difference between chasing and attracting. When you chase, people run. When you attract, they come to you willingly. There's also something deeply fulfilling about this approach. Chasing money often leaves people feeling burned out, anxious, and disconnected from their purpose. But creating value feels purposeful. It feels like you're making a difference. It adds meaning to the money because now you're not just earning, you're serving, contributing, building something that lasts. The beauty is that anyone can do this. You don't need a huge platform, a fancy degree, or $1 million idea. You just need to start where you are and ask yourself, what do I have right now that could help someone else? Maybe it's your ability to write or design or organize or teach or listen or code or build. Whatever it is, refine it, sharpen it, and use it to solve a real problem. The more specific and helpful you become, the more the market rewards you. That's how value works. That's how wealth is created sustainably. Not by luck, not by shortcuts, but by showing up consistently and offering something that matters. The ironic truth is this: the less you focus on getting money and the more you focus on giving value, the more money you tend to receive. Because people don't pay you for your need. They pay you for your value. Your rent is not paid by how much you want money. It's paid by how much someone else wants what you offer. So instead of waking up and asking, how can I make more money today? Wake up and ask, how can I create something so good, so useful, so effective that people will happily pay me for it? That question changes your energy. It shifts your creativity. It puts you in control. In the end, the world doesn't reward those who chase the fastest. It rewards those who serve the best. Be so valuable that money finds you. Be so good they can't ignore you. When you live like that, consistently and intentionally, money stops being something you pursue and starts becoming something that pursues you. In today's fast-paced, hyper-competitive world, there's one word we hear constantly: hustle. We glorify it. We romanticize the all-nighters, the 16-hour workdays, the endless grind. Social media is filled with highlight reels of people hustling, sprinting toward success, always busy, always moving. And while there is undeniable value in work ethic and discipline, there's a deeper truth we often overlook. Hustle alone will not set you free. In fact, hustle without direction, without refinement, without strategy is just exhaustion in disguise. What truly separates those who break through from those who burn out is not hustle, it's mastery. Mastery is what happens when your work stops being just effort and starts being effective. When you stop running in all directions, hoping something will stick, and instead focus on going deep, on becoming so good at one thing that the world starts to notice. Mastery is about precision. It's about becoming indispensable in your field because you've trained, practiced, studied, and refined your craft to the point where excellence becomes your standard. You can hustle every day of your life and still struggle financially or creatively if you never take time to specialize. In fact, that's what happens to most people. They do a little bit of everything. They jump from one project to the next, one idea to the next, always busy but never building something meaningful. They confuse motion with progress. But mastery is different. Mastery means narrowing your focus, identifying your unique value, and then pouring hours, weeks, months, years into sharpening it. Think of a surgeon, a world-class chef, a great musician, a top-tier software engineer, or a brilliant teacher. None of them got there through hustle alone. They got there through intentional practice, feedback, correction, and relentless improvement. They got there by choosing depth over breadth. And because of that, they command attention, trust, and higher compensation. Not because they beg for it, but because their mastery earns it. When you're average at many things, the market doesn't reward you much. You become replaceable. But when you are truly world-class at even one thing, whether it's writing compelling copy, leading teams, managing operations, crafting stories, designing brands, or speaking to crowds, you become irreplaceable. And that's when opportunities begin to seek you out. It's not about being flashy. Mastery isn't loud. It doesn't always show up in Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. Mastery is often quiet, deliberate, and invisible to the outside world for long periods of time. It's the extra hours someone puts in to get it right when no one is watching. It's the discipline to learn the boring stuff, the fundamentals, the basics, until those basics become second nature. The problem is that hustle gives us an illusion of progress. It makes us feel productive. You can post online that you worked 18 hours today and people will applaud you. But what did you actually produce? What improved? What did you master? Hustle might get you noticed, but mastery gets you respected. And over time, it's respect, not just attention, that converts into opportunities, income, and impact. If you want to be truly successful, you need to decide what you are willing to go deep on. What skill, craft, knowledge base, or service are you willing to become so good at that people associate your name with it? And then, once you've chosen, commit to getting better every day. Read the books, take the feedback, accept the mistakes, practice deliberately, study those who are better than you, ask questions, stay humble, because that's what mastery requires. Hustle is often driven by urgency. Mastery is driven by patience. It doesn't mean you move slowly, but it means you understand that great things take time. You're not just chasing short-term wins, you're building long-term value. You're playing a different game. While others are sprinting to nowhere, you're building something solid, something that lasts. There's a powerful confidence that comes with mastery, too. When you truly know your craft, you don't have to sell yourself aggressively. Your work speaks for itself. You don't have to constantly prove your worth. Your results, your expertise, your depth, make it obvious. That kind of confidence is magnetic. It attracts clients, collaborators, investors, and audiences. Another beautiful thing about mastery is that it multiplies over time. The better you get, the faster you improve. Because the fundamentals are second nature, you can start to innovate, you start seeing patterns others miss, you can solve problems more efficiently, communicate more clearly, lead more effectively. What used to take you hours now takes minutes. You become more productive, not by working harder, but by working smarter. And that's the secret. Mastery creates leverage. Hustle uses time, mastery multiplies it. When you're hustling, your income is tied to your effort. But when you've mastered a skill, truly mastered it, your work creates value even when you're not working. You can teach, license, consult, automate, or scale what you've built. You're not just selling time anymore, you're selling transformation. So the question isn't how much more can I hustle today? The better question is what can I master that will make the hustle unnecessary? Because the truth is hustle should be temporary. It's a phase, it's what you do to get started. But mastery is what sustains you. It's what builds wealth, influence, and freedom over time. When you invest in mastery, you stop being at the mercy of luck or trends. You don't have to chase after every opportunity because the right ones come to you. You stop feeling desperate. You start feeling empowered. You stop burning out. You start building up. This doesn't mean you never hustle again. There will be seasons where hard work is required, no doubt. But if you're always grinding with no end in sight, if you're always tired and always chasing, then it's time to ask yourself, am I hustling out of habit or because I haven't yet committed to mastery? The world doesn't just need more effort. It needs more excellence. More people who are deeply committed to getting great at something, not just for fame or fortune, but because they care about quality. They care about legacy. They care about making something that matters. So yes, hustle if you must, do what you need to do, but don't stop there. Go further, get better, master something. Because in the end, it's not the hustler who wins, it's the one who becomes so excellent, so trusted, so skilled that the world takes notice. And when you get to that level, you won't need to chase money anymore. It will already be chasing you. So many people walk through life feeling like they're one step behind, like they're constantly asking for a break, pleading for an opportunity, waiting for someone to give them a shot. They apply for jobs, message potential clients, pitch themselves to investors, or try to sell their ideas, and often feel ignored. They think if only someone would just give me a chance. They feel like they have to beg their way into success. But here's the truth that changes everything. The world doesn't respond to need, it responds to value. If you want to stop begging and start building, you have to shift your focus from what you want to who you are becoming. When you approach life from a place of lack, when you're constantly trying to get something from others, it shows. People can sense desperation. They can feel when someone is trying to take instead of give. And most of the time, the reaction isn't compassion, it's avoidance. People pull away from those who seem needy because it feels like pressure. But when you flip the script, when you focus instead on becoming the kind of person who has something powerful to offer, the energy changes completely. Think about the difference between two people walking into a room. One walks in hoping someone notices them, hoping to be chosen, trying to prove they're good enough. The other walks in with calm confidence, grounded in their skills, their purpose, their value. They don't need to ask for attention, they command it. Not because they're louder or flashier, but because who they've become radiates certainty. That's the difference between begging and becoming. Begging is rooted in external validation. It says, please approve me, please pick me, please tell me I'm worth it. Becoming is internal. It says, I already know I'm worth it, and I've done the work to prove it, not just to you, but to myself. And when that transformation happens, when you shift from needing others to confirm your value to becoming someone who embodies that value, the world starts to respond differently. It doesn't mean you'll never get rejected. It doesn't mean people will fall at your feet. But it does mean that you'll carry yourself differently. You'll pitch with confidence, not fear. You'll walk into interviews or meetings or negotiations knowing what you bring to the table, not wondering whether you deserve to be at the table at all. And that energy is magnetic. It earns respect. The truth is, nobody owes you anything. The market doesn't care how badly you want it. It doesn't care about your dreams unless you've backed those dreams with skills, action, and proof. That sounds harsh, but it's freeing. Because it means you don't have to wait for anyone to give you permission. You can stop waiting and start becoming. Starting right now. Becoming is about taking full responsibility. It's about asking yourself, what am I building? What am I learning? What am I creating? How am I improving? It's about identifying the gaps between where you are and where you want to be and then filling them one step at a time. That might mean reading, practicing, getting feedback, failing, adjusting, and repeating the process over and over again. When you focus on becoming, rejection stops being personal. It becomes information. You realize someone saying no isn't a judgment of your worth. It's a signal about what you need to do next. Maybe your pitch wasn't clear. Maybe your product wasn't compelling. Maybe your confidence wasn't fully there yet. That's fine, because you're not stuck. You're not defined by a moment. You're becoming. This mindset also takes you out of the comparison trap. Begging puts you in constant competition. You're always looking at who's ahead, who's getting more attention, who's succeeding faster. You feel behind. But when you're focused on becoming, you realize the only real competition is the person you were yesterday. It's not about beating others. It's about becoming better, smarter, sharper, stronger, version after version. And this journey isn't just about skills. It's about identity. It's about becoming someone who can handle the success you say you want. Think about it. If someone gave you $10 million today, would you know how to manage it? Would you know how to lead a team, run a business, scale an idea, make decisions under pressure, or stay grounded in chaos? Most people want the outcome, but not the evolution. But real lasting success is a result of who you become, not just what you get. So instead of saying, I need someone to invest in me, say, I'm going to become someone who is undeniable. Instead of saying, why won't people buy from me? Ask, what can I improve so that my offer becomes irresistible? Instead of hoping for luck, build leverage, build credibility, build skill, build character. That way, when the opportunity comes, you're not scrambling to get ready. You already are ready. Becoming also builds internal confidence that no one can take away. When your identity is rooted in results, effort, and personal growth, you stop depending on applause. You don't need the world to validate you because you validate yourself every time you show up, get better, and keep going. That kind of confidence is unshakable. It carries through in your tone, your presence, your decisions. Over time, the world begins to respond. Not instantly, not magically, but inevitably. People are drawn to those who are clear, capable, and committed. Clients want to work with someone who knows their worth. Employers hire people who take initiative and own their growth. Investors fund people who demonstrate responsibility, vision, and grit. You stop being one of many and start becoming one of one. This doesn't mean arrogance. Becoming isn't about ego. It's about humility and hunger, the humility to know there's always more to learn and the hunger to keep learning. It's about dropping the need for approval and replacing it with the drive for excellence. It's not flashy, it's not always glamorous, but it's powerful. You don't need to beg for success. You need to become someone success is attracted to. That means doing the hard work when no one's watching. It means showing up even when no one's clapping. It means becoming someone you're proud of, not just for what you've accomplished, but for how you've grown. So the next time you're tempted to chase, to plead, to beg for your breakthrough, pause. Take a breath and ask yourself, who am I becoming right now? What am I building that will make me undeniable? Because when you commit to the path of becoming, eventually you won't have to ask, you won't have to convince, you'll just be, and the world will take notice. There's a profound truth that reshapes everything when you truly grasp it. Money doesn't respond to hopes, wishes, or intentions. It responds to value. You can want wealth more than anything. You can dream about it, pray for it, hustle every day, and still feel like you're running in place. That's because money at its core is an exchange. It is energy moving from one person to another in return for something meaningful, something useful, something desired, something that makes a difference. And that something is value. The mistake many people make is believing that money is about chasing people, or opportunities, or being in the right place at the right time. But that's a surface level understanding. What actually brings money into your life, what actually makes wealth sustainable and scalable, is your ability to create value. The more value you provide, the more problems you solve, the more transformation you deliver, the more money starts to come your way, begins to seek you out, because value is magnetic. People, companies, and markets are always looking for it, even if they don't say it outright. And when you become a source of real value, you don't need to beg, you don't need to plead, you simply attract. The key then is to stop asking, how can I make more money? And start asking, how can I become more valuable? That one shift alone will transform your thinking, your actions, and your results. Because when you focus on value, you stop obsessing over price tags and start focusing on outcomes. You stop worrying about competition and start concentrating on contribution. You move from scarcity to abundance, not because you're thinking positively, but because you're acting effectively. Value can come in many forms. It could be in the form of knowledge, insight, creativity, support, leadership, execution, innovation, or simply the ability to make someone else's life easier, faster, or better. Whether you're a freelancer, employee, entrepreneur, artist, or coach, your job is to find the intersection between what people need and what you can deliver exceptionally well. When you consistently meet that need, better, faster, or more effectively than others, people will be willing to exchange their money for that value. Think about every product you've ever paid for, every service you've ever used. You didn't part with your hard-earned money just because someone asked nicely. You did it because you believed what you were getting was worth more than what you were giving up. That's the essence of value. It's not about what you think something is worth. It's about how the other person perceives its usefulness or benefit in their life. So if you want to earn more, serve more. If you want to receive more, but give more intelligently. Give more of what matters. More clarity, more excellence, more solutions. People often say, if I had more money, I could do more. But the inverse is just as true and more powerful. If I do more valuable things, I will have more money. That flips the power back into your hands. It takes you out of the waiting room and puts you in the workshop. You don't need to wait for a raise, a grant, a loan, or a stroke of luck. You can start building value right now. You can improve your skill set. You can find new ways to solve old problems. You can show up with a mindset of service, not just survival. The beauty of value is that it compounds. As you develop mastery in a skill or craft, your ability to deliver value grows exponentially. What took you 10 hours before might take you 2 hours now, but deliver 10 times the impact. That's leverage. That's how income grows without burning out. You're not just working harder, you're working smarter, because your value per hour, per project, per client increases. This is why people can charge $100 for something and others can charge $10,000 for what seems like the same thing on the surface. It's not about the thing, it's about the value behind it. It's about the trust, the reputation, the results, the expertise. And yes, at first you may need to undercharge while you're building that value. You may need to give more than you get at the beginning as you establish proof. But once you have that value and you've packaged it correctly, the market will respond. But here's something important. Value alone isn't enough. It has to be visible. You can be the best in the world at what you do, but if no one knows it, you'll stay broke and frustrated. So part of your work is not just to create value, but to communicate it clearly. That means knowing how to explain the outcomes you offer. It means learning to position yourself in the right spaces. It means building trust and demonstrating results. It means learning to sell, not from a place of manipulation, but from a place of service. Because when you know your value, selling doesn't feel dirty, it feels natural. You're not pushing something people don't want. You're presenting something they need in a way that's clear, compelling, and ethical. And when you do that right, money flows toward you, not because you're lucky or aggressive, but because you're relevant. You matter. You're solving something real. Some people resist this mindset because they think it sounds transactional. They say, what about passion? What about purpose? But this isn't about choosing between passion and value. It's about connecting the two. Passion without value is a hobby. Value without passion is a job. But when you merge them, when you find a way to do what you love in a way that genuinely helps others, you've hit the sweet spot. That's where fulfillment and financial reward meet. That's where your work becomes a calling. And once you get there, everything shifts. You stop chasing the next paycheck and start building a long-term platform. You start thinking about how to scale your value, how to teach others, how to expand your impact. You think like a creator, a builder, a contributor, and people notice. They feel your energy, they recognize your excellence, and they respond often with money, yes, but also with loyalty, referrals, and trust. That's why the question is never, how do I get more money? It's always, how can I give more value? Because when you do, money becomes a byproduct, not the goal. And the best part, when value leads, money doesn't just come once, it comes again and again through repeat clients, referrals, partnerships, and growth. That's how wealth is built. Not by luck, not by shortcuts, but by consistent value creation. So wherever you are right now, ask yourself, what value am I bringing to the table? What can I get better at? Who can I serve more deeply? Where can I solve a bigger problem? Those questions hold the keys. Because when you answer them and take action, money doesn't just follow you, it flows to you. And when that happens, you'll look back and realize you never needed to chase money at all. You just needed to become the person money is drawn to, because value always finds its way to the top. The world rewards those who can solve valuable problems, and one of the most effective ways to attract money into your life is to become the kind of person who can solve problems that others either can't or won't. That's what mastering a high-income skill is all about. It's about turning your focus inward, not on what's popular, not on what's trending, but on building something inside of yourself that can't be taken away. A skill that adds so much value that money starts to find its way to you instead of you constantly chasing it. A high-income skill isn't some magic trick. It's not something you stumble into or randomly guess your way through. It's deliberate, it's intentional, and it's powerful. It's a skill, meaning it's developed through time, effort, and discipline. And it's high income, meaning that the market recognizes its value and rewards those who can execute it well. That could be anything from copywriting, software engineering, graphic design, public speaking, sales, marketing strategy, financial analysis, data science, or even emotional intelligence in leadership roles. The specific skill doesn't matter as much as your commitment to mastering it. Because when you become great at something the world values, money begins to chase you. So many people dabble. They try a bit of this, a bit of that, hoping one day something will click, but mastery doesn't come from dabbling, it comes from obsession. From going deep, not wide. From deciding that you're going to be excellent, not just average, not just good enough, but top tier. When you master a high-income skill, you gain leverage. You're no longer trading your time for pennies. You're exchanging your time, your insight, and your execution for dollars, sometimes hundreds or even thousands per hour. That's not luck. That's earned ability. The beautiful thing about skills is that no one can take them from you. They're not dependent on an employer, a location, or a specific industry. They stay with you wherever you go. In a world that's changing rapidly, filled with uncertainty, AI advancements, automation, and market disruption, a high-income skill becomes your armor. It gives you optionality. You're no longer at the mercy of others. You can freelance, consult, start your own business, climb the corporate ladder, or create opportunities where none existed before. But developing that skill requires sacrifice. It means waking up early to study while others sleep. It means taking courses, reading books, asking for feedback and failing forward. It means building when no one's watching. It means repetition, sometimes boring, sometimes frustrating, but always refining. And it means saying no to distractions so you can say yes to mastery. Because the truth is, not everyone will do the work. That's what makes a high-income skill so valuable. Most people don't have the discipline to become excellent. But if you do, if you commit to going deeper than others are willing to go, then you'll be in demand no matter what's happening in the economy. And don't fall into the trap of thinking that a skill only matters if it looks impressive on a resume. Some of the most powerful high-income skills don't have a title. Listening deeply is a skill. Persuading through storytelling is a skill. Designing something beautiful is a skill. Leading a team with empathy is a skill. Breaking down complex problems into simple, actionable steps is a skill. The magic happens when you take what feels natural to you, your interests, your strengths, even your curiosities, and decide to sharpen them into something the market finds indispensable. Take sales, for example. A lot of people avoid it because they associate it with pushiness. But sales, at its core, is the ability to communicate the value of a solution to someone with a problem. That skill, when done with authenticity and clarity, can generate massive income. The same applies to copywriting, the ability to use words to influence behavior, or coding, which is just another form of problem solving that happens to power the digital world. When you master these kinds of skills, you're no longer asking, how do I get paid? You're deciding how and where you want to use your skill to get paid. The internet has made access to skill building more available than ever. There are courses, mentorships, videos, communities, most of them affordable or free. There are platforms to showcase your work. There are networks to connect with others. The only missing ingredient for most people isn't opportunity, it's consistency. It's the daily quiet decision to get better, to do the reps, to study your craft like it's your ticket out, because it is. And as you develop that skill, your confidence grows, not the fake kind of confidence that comes from hype, but the real kind. The kind that says, I know what I'm doing. I can help, I can deliver results. That's the type of confidence that clients feel, that employers respect, that customers pay for. It changes your posture. It changes your tone. It changes the way you show up in the world. Here's the other truth. You don't need to master 10 different skills, just one. One well-developed skill can fund your life, open doors, and elevate your status. And once you've mastered one, learning others becomes easier because you've built the muscle of mastery itself. You've trained yourself to stick with something past the point where most people quit. The best part, mastering a high-income skill gives you more than money, gives you freedom. Freedom to choose your path. Freedom to walk away from what no longer serves you. Freedom to create instead of beg, to build instead of chase, to design a life based on contribution and excellence rather than scarcity and survival. Money will chase you, not because you're chasing it, but because you've become valuable. You've become someone who can produce, who can create, who can transform. And people pay for transformation. So ask yourself, what problem can I solve that people would gladly pay to have solved? What skill, if I mastered it, would change my earning potential forever? What's stopping me from starting today? Because the time will pass anyway. A year from now, you could be making 5 times your current income doing something you love if you commit to the skill. 5 years from now, you could be living a completely different life if you go all in. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. The world doesn't reward the lazy or the lukewarm. It rewards those who master what matters. So stop waiting for permission. Stop bouncing between distractions. Pick one skill. Learn it. Study it. Practice it. Live it. And one day you'll wake up and realize money isn't something you chase anymore. It's something that arrives because you became someone the world can't ignore. Relying on one source of income is like standing on a single leg and expecting perfect balance during a storm. It might hold for a while, but when the wind picks up, when life shifts, when economies dip, when companies downsize, it becomes dangerously unstable. That's why building multiple streams of income isn't just a smart financial move, it's a mindset shift. It's the move from survival to strategy. It's the understanding that financial security doesn't come from one paycheck or one client, but from building a network of income sources that support, supplement, and strengthen each other. This isn't just for the wealthy or for people already living their dreams. It's for anyone willing to take control of their time, their talents, and their resources. The truth is, most millionaires and many financially free people didn't get there from one job or one business. They got there by building multiple channels of income that work in harmony. Some are active, requiring time and effort. Others are passive, continuing to produce revenue long after the work is done. And once you understand this, money begins to behave differently in your life. It no longer becomes something you desperately pursue. It becomes something you learn to position, grow, and multiply. Creating multiple income streams begins with shifting your identity from consumer to creator. Most people are stuck in a cycle of spending and earning. They earn money and then spend it on liabilities, on things that lose value the moment they buy them. But if you want to become financially independent, you need to think differently. You need to use your income to create more income. That means turning your skills, ideas, and assets into cash-flowing activities. It means planting seeds that grow on their own while you sleep, work, or vacation. It means asking not, how can I spend this money, but rather, how can I multiply this? Let's break it down. Your primary income, usually your job or main business, is your starting point. But it shouldn't be your finish line. From there, you can build a second stream, maybe by freelancing or consulting using your existing skills. Then a third by creating digital products like ebooks, courses, templates, or assets others can use. Later, perhaps you invest in stocks, index funds, or dividend-paying shares. Eventually, you could acquire real estate that brings rental income every month, or even build a brand that generates affiliate commissions or merchandise sales. The opportunities are endless, but they start with awareness and intention. And here's the key, you don't need all of this to happen overnight. Most people think, I don't have the time. But the truth is, you don't need more time, you need more direction. You need to start where you are with what you have. Pick one stream, develop it, get it working, then add another. Don't try to build 6 things at once and end up mastering none of them. Build one strong pillar. Once it's solid, use your new time, money, and experience to build the next one faster and stronger. Each stream should align with your interests, your capacity, and your long-term vision. Not everyone needs to invest in real estate. Not everyone will start a YouTube channel or become a freelancer. But everyone has something, a skill, a story, a solution, or a strategy that can be transformed into a new income stream. It may take time to learn, it may take effort to build, but that's the nature of wealth. It responds to those willing to do what others won't. The beauty of multiple streams of income is that they give you freedom. Freedom to take risks, to say no, to walk away, and to explore your potential fully. When you're not tied to one paycheck, your confidence shifts. You're not terrified of losing a job because you've built bridges elsewhere. You don't tolerate toxic environments or compromise your values for a salary. You become empowered to make choices based on purpose, not panic. And it's not just about the money. It's about resilience. If one stream slows down, the others can carry you. If a client disappears, your investments keep working. If a product underperforms, your affiliate income continues. You become financially anti-fragile. You're not just surviving, you're adapting, evolving, and expanding. Too often people think passive income is a myth or a luxury reserved for the already wealthy. But passive income is real. It just doesn't come easily. At first, every income stream is active. You have to build it. You have to show up. You have to learn the game. But if you do the work up front, if you create something that delivers value repeatedly, it begins to work for you. A book continues to sell after you write it. A video continues to earn views. A rental property continues to collect payments. That's leverage. That's freedom. But understand this. Multiple income streams don't mean divided focus forever. You must first create stability in one area before branching into others. Don't let the idea of multiple become an excuse for mediocrity. Excellence still matters. In fact, each new stream should be an extension of your growing value, your reputation, your results, your relationships. These are the bridges that allow new streams to flow faster and with greater volume. You'll need systems, you'll need boundaries, you'll need clarity. Not every opportunity is worth your time. Not every dollar is created equal. A side hustle that drains your energy but adds little income may not be worth pursuing. But a passive product that takes time to create but earns for years, that's smart. Choose wisely. Review regularly. Iterate often. Creating multiple income streams is also about generational thinking. It's not just about you, it's about those who come after you. Imagine leaving behind not just a bank account, but a structure, not just money, but momentum. Teaching your children, your community, or your peers that financial freedom isn't a fantasy, it's a framework. That's legacy. Eventually, money becomes less emotional. It's not about ego, status, or comparison. It becomes a tool, one you use to design a life of purpose, peace, and possibility. You don't work just to pay bills. You work to build engines that run, whether you're tired, inspired, or even offline. And that's when you realize you're not chasing money anymore. It's finding you, flowing to you, because you've set the systems in place to receive it. So wherever you are today, know this. The first step is not complexity, it's commitment. Commit to adding one stream. Commit to learning something new. Commit to building something small, then scaling it. You don't have to be an expert, you just have to start. Consistency over time builds capacity. And before long, you'll look around and realize you're no longer balancing on one leg in a storm. You've built a foundation, strong, stable, and built to last. And in that place, money doesn't just arrive, it follows you. Because you've become the kind of person who creates it over and over again.